Three, two, one. Hey guys, welcome to Podcast Live. With us today, we've got some really special guests. This is a show, if it's the first time listening to it or watching us, we talk all things golf. We talk about the PGA, the Champions Tour, LPGA. We talk about golf fitness, golf instruction, as well as talking about the new technologies that are available for us. And with us today are a couple of special guests. We've got Joe Ross from Newmarket. He's a former TPI and CPGA professional, fitness instructor, as well as Chris Saini. They call him Sheppy. And he's also a fitness instructor over at Mad Lab School of Fitness, a TPI instructor. And of course, with us co-hosting is Michael Bleackley from Vancouver. Guys, lots of great golf on TV this weekend. We're going to just start off by talking about what you do and how you got into golf. And maybe we could start with Chris. Chris, you've been involved with golf for a while. You know Mike in Vancouver. Tell us about what you do and how you got involved with the golf business.
Yeah, I moved to Van in 2006. I'd been in BC for years and joined a gym just to work out, which was in CrossFit Vancouver, and the owner was a very big golfer. So it took 3-4 years for me to get into it, but I said this on another podcast. I saw them go off on this big tournament he put on every summer. You know, they're loading into the party bus at 7 a.m. and I'm like, wow, that looks like fun. I want to go. And so I just started golfing more and more, and then started taking lessons with a guy down at Fraserview, Derek Thornley. He's a old school BC guy, great instructor. And he suggested that I go try TPI. I'll go get certified. And so off I went down to Scottsdale and did a cert and just started reeling in clients after that. And it's been growing and growing ever since. It's a real fun passion to indulge in, getting people better at their golf game, right?
Absolutely.
Amazing how it helps anybody out there who hasn't done TPI or know what it is. I can speak firsthand for the knowledge it taught me about the golf swing and how the body should function. So anybody should do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's sorry, go on.
No, absolutely. You were going to say that's your...
Oh, that's my slogan. You know, I won't coach your golf swing, but I'll make your body better at doing it.
Yeah, and that's actually a really great point to make because, I've been doing the golf and the golf fitness for quite a while. And people, I think they need to understand that, you're doing that not to improve your golf swing per se, because you need proper instruction for that, but you help yourself safeguard against injuries and your endurance factors through the game, all that. That's the really important stuff with the fitness with golf.
Yeah.
And Joe, tell us a little bit how you got started with the golf fitness and what your background is with golf.
Oh, so me?
Yeah, Joe,
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. Well, I started golfing when I was 13. So, and of course, back then, golf fitness was not really in any sport fitness. I remember Guy Lafleur on the bike with a cigarette in his mouth, drinking beer. Sports and fitness were not, synonymous. And there've been many golfers. We don't even have to think about anyone else other than John Daly for that matter. But anyways, I've always been into a lot of different sports, and when I got into golf, I just fell in love with it, and right off the bat. And within a couple of years, I was working as assistant pro at a course called the Tam O'Shanter in Scarborough. And I didn't stay very long in the CPGA, but mostly because I didn't think it was enough to get by, and I ended up going back to school and become a kinesiologist. But I've always had a high regard for fitness in anything I've done, and I just loved combining the golf with the fitness when I started doing that. And I ended up getting my TPI when it first came out, I think in 2008. They actually came to Toronto. So, and I've had, semi-pro players that, Canadians that would be here through the winter or through the summer, and then they go down to play into the winter and stuff like that. So it's been a very helpful tool for sure.
Right on, Mike. And we've seen the change in the golf game. I mean, if we go back to people like Gary Player, who were making fun of other players like Tim Herron and John Daly, who weren't your average looking golfer. And when people look at players like that, they don't feel like it's really a sport. It's more a skill-oriented kind of activity. But I think things have changed a lot from, the days of Tiger Woods coming in 1997, and then you'll see the change in all the players over the last 20 some odd years. I remember, Mike, we back in 1997 we were watching the Masters over in Vancouver together, and how he was just blowing the field away, and how everybody changed their routine and what they do for golf to get more fit. And it's actually changed our mindset as well. There's a whole slew of players that play out there had the Tiger factor come into place. And now we look at someone like Bryson DeChambeau, who's changing the game. We never thought that somebody would transcend golf one more time. And I think, Bryson's taken it to another level.
Bryson decided that he's going to get as big and strong as he can. And, Chris could probably speak to this, and size in golf doesn't necessarily translate into improving, but not Bryson. He rebuilt his body, added a bunch of weight and strength, and he can still hit it straight, fairly in control and compared to most of us. And it's really something interesting to see how he develops. And I think he's leaned out a little bit in the last couple months. If you look at him, he's not as bulky, but doesn't mean the strength isn't there. And we're going to see more results out of him as he changes the game. And other players are following suit. You can see Danny Lee trying to swing harder and get stronger. And the fitness level on golf is a much more depth than it was 20 years ago, where these guys may not try to run the 100-meter dash in the Olympics, but they have a great platform, good strength platform within themselves, and they're athletes. They are definitely athletes.
So it's funny you should say that too, because that's all the golfers that I've worked with, I've been making them sprint.
Are you?
Yeah. I mean, just for extra endurance and that fast, quick twitch. Sprinting does. I've got bias. I was on the Canadian team in track and field for a number of years.
Cool.
So I come from that background as well. And but I found, I was playing my best golf when I was in my best track and field shape, and like I said, safeguarding against the injuries and stuff. So
yeah, the type 2 scientific word, but your type 2 X fibers that you create with sprinting, it's probably one of the best ways you could do it.
Yeah.
Is sprinting.
But it's definitely in the golf swing that need to have.
Sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Well, that fast twitch movement is, definitely something golfers need to be in tune with. And I think the short distance running and sprinting is probably better for us than running and training for a marathon and putting that type of pressure on your
don't do that.
On your body. But I agree. And Chris, you've done that with me, short sprints around the gym and around the streets near the gym as well. And I absolutely agree. There's a benefit to that. And I was saying that, like a Usain Bolt may have a different practice or workout regime than Justin Thomas does, right? So, that definitely makes sense.
Let me just add one thing here, and this is something I'm battling with a recent client. And you can think back to the way the junior programs run, right? You're an athlete first. You got to put your fitness first. And once you have that, then you can start specializing in sports, right? This is what they say about juniors. But, if you're a 40-some-year-old person and just picking up golf, I have this client picked it up in the last year and a half, another like apocalypse golfer, but, she's super injured right now. She's got this condition where she's bruised the cartilage that attaches her ribs to her spine. Can't remember the name of it. And she's, this woman is not in shape, a lovely, lovely woman. She's been playing 3 times a week for the last year and a half, right through the winter. And she came to me to get better, and she was already sort of injured. And I keep trying to tell her, like, no, you need to become an athlete first. We need to get your deadlift up. We need to get your squat up. We need to work on your shoulder flexion. You know what I mean? We need to do all these things, and then we can do the sexy, fun golf stuff, right? But no, I only want the golf stuff. All right.
Yeah.
I think we know.
I'll go ahead, Joe.
We've all worked with golf clients, and you know you're going to get a mixed bag of interest in terms of the fitness and in the instruction and how often they're going to work at it. And, you know, we've all been down that road for sure. I mean, you can only do so much. You can lead a horse to water.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So I told her, you have the horse upside down in the cart. That's how you're approaching this, okay?
Yeah.
You need to completely revamp. Let's not even do golf fitness. Come in and train with me. I'll get you in the classes. We'll get you athletic. We'll lose some weight. You know, do 3 months of that. We'd put a massive dent in her strength and wellness, right?
Fantastic.
I think the biggest problem over the years, you know, I've been doing this for close to 21 years, got certified in 2000, had a golf studio out in Montreal, had several professionals work for me, and I got to a point where the evaluation process on the first lesson is so important, and it's not really taught, and most professionals don't use that kind of system where you need to evaluate the player, what their flexibility is, what's their range of motion, you know, what their goals are, what they want to accomplish, how often are they playing. So I usually tick off a list of things, and with today's technology, it's pretty amazing to be able to go through a list of things and then work on, you know, your grip, your stance, your posture, ball position, alignment, and then work on the swing itself. But how much time are they willing to put in? What kind of clubs do they have? All of these things factor in on how a player is going to perform and what their expectations are. Because a lot of the people who come in, as you guys well know, they'll come in for one lesson sometimes. And they want to learn because they're getting ready for a corporate golf tournament. Or they, you know,
and know your audience.
But so if you've got a wide array of students, I think the process of having a good evaluation is important. What do you guys think?
And TPI, of course, they're the ones that push for the initial assessments like that and stuff. They're one of the first groups that have come along and done that. But of course, not everyone takes that approach to it. Like as you said, most people, for me, I work both sides of the road. I do the fitness and I do the golf, and it sounds like you guys do. So you know, not everyone's gonna want to go down the fitness road. So it's a tough thing, let alone get people to come to golf lessons so consistently, right? But it's all part of the game. It's all fun, and you help the people you can help the best, and you do your best with the rest, right?
Yeah. I have a client, he was about a 6 handicap, and he came to me last spring, and he didn't even want to do fitness. He was blowing my own horn by saying, you know, I just want to get in shape. And just by doing that, he went down to a 4 by working out all summer, right? He'd hit the gym 2-3 times a week, played 2 or 3 times a week. And you know, you don't necessarily even have to go to the golf side of things. I obviously we love to do that, but you know, you just get your hips stronger. You squat your body weight 8 times, you're probably going to hit it further.
Right on.
I think people don't realize, especially newer golfers or most amateurs, they don't realize the commitment that it takes. Like you can't just go take one lesson and think you're going to get better. You need to absorb that lesson, go work on it yourself, and follow up with your coach and measure that progress. It takes a lot of time, and you've got to be committed to doing all those steps to get better at golf. And we're in that world where everybody wants it now, urgently. But those slow incremental moves you do with golf to work with your coach and get your strength better over time end up paying off.
Most people don't realize just how traumatic this move is, especially when it's done properly.
Yeah. The better you swing, the harder it is on your body.
And it I know with the fitness, it creates that kind of longevity within the game. Because if you do experience a lower back pain or you do hurt yourself, the most common injuries would be a left wrist for right-handed golfers or a lower right side of your back. And that's not proper technique, not proper fitness, not a good warm up, and those things need to be taught.
They all just jump out of the car and start playing, man.
Oh yeah, but then they look at someone like Bernard Longer and they don't understand. They think, oh, it's pretty simple. This guy's 64, but people don't realize what he does to be able to do what he does. Even someone like Phil Mickelson, who's going between the PGA Tour and won the event in Arizona this weekend. And Bernard Longer at 64 winning the Charles Schwab Cup. Yeah, that's right.
Anyone else left?
Yeah, I'm a lefty.
All right.
Right on.
Guys are TPIs or lefties.
A lot more in Canada, anyways.
Yeah.
I
read today that Longer played every Champions Tour event.
39 events.
36 of them or something.
That's right.
39 events. Ridiculous.
Phil played 6.
Yeah,
and won 4 of them.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
And
Actually,
Longer almost pulled out on Thursday after 3 holes. His back was in so much pain, but his doctor told him he couldn't hurt it any further, so he toughed it out and ended up taking the Charles Schwab Cup. Had he pulled out, Furyk could have easily surpassed him and taken the race.
Yeah, and he posted a super low round on Saturday. I think it was 8 under.
63, wasn't it?
And Furyk kind of choked with his putting and some of the wayward shots. He's got a pretty crazy swing, as we all know. But it's repeatable.
Yes.
And he hit the grandstands on 18. That certainly didn't help. But look at Phil Mickelson. I mean, he's taken a whole new approach to his game as well. He swings out of his shoes as well. And he's playing both tours. You mentioned that he's won the last 4 out of 6 Champions Tour events. He matches Jack Nicklaus's record for 4 out of 6. And I think then comes Lee Trevino and Arnold Palmer. It took them 9 starts before they got their first 4 wins, which is incredible in itself. And then someone like Hale Irwin, who's got a ridiculous amount of, 46 wins on the Champions Tour. I don't think
45,
it's ever 45. Unbelievable. But Phil's playing both tours. Like he won the PGA Championship last year a few days shy of his 51st birthday, which is just incredible. And it's inspiring a whole generation of golfers who played, including myself. I'm 47 right now. Mike, you're 48. And you guys, how old are you guys?
I turned 50 this year.
Congrats.
I'm 57 now, so I'm in the old fart stage of the golf game, I call it.
Hey, we could all shoot our age for 9 holes. It's a pretty amazing.
That's right.
I'd be lucky.
That'd be a really bad 9 holes.
So let's.
Speaking of funny stuff, I turned 50 in May, and we had we were still somewhat in not lockdown, but we had some pretty strong restrictions happening. And I said, screw it, and put on a golf tournament.
Nice.
24 guys a day, 2 days. We played Fraserview and UBC, and just had a whale of a time. I think there's been 2 divorces since then, but just had a whale of a time. I mean, I was home in bed by 10 each night. I was so tired. These other younger guys, they were out till 4 a.m. and like just partying away. It just seemed like everyone just really needed a release, and it just came at the right time. And we had great weather. God, that was fun, eh, Mike?
Oh, they're good times. And let me talk about the prize table. Sheppy basically brought in half a cow and divvied it up into prizes. So the winner of, I believe I won the Sunday round. So I had at least a $400 piece of steak that my portion was, and it was fantastic. And so Shep's done this a couple times with these, what do you call them? The rib extravaganza?
Oh, no, the rib roast rivalry.
Yes, there you go.
Yeah, you took that one too, you bugger.
Sorry.
That's all right. It's a podcast. You could say what you want. It doesn't reflect me or the podcast. But what about me? If I came down and played, because I come down to Vancouver and play with Mike from time to time, and I'm a vegetarian. What are you gonna get me like 30 pounds of asparagus or something?
He's going to get you back
Vegetarians
on
weren't
meat.
allowed at the tournament. They're not
All
allowed.
groceries are getting expensive now, so including the vegetables.
Yeah.
Let me say, it was grass-fed beef. It was like the finest beef you can get. So, as well, a few bottles of wine, and it's a really
That's a good night.
It's a good event that Chris puts together, and you know, I know he's very passionate about getting everybody together to have fun on the golf course.
Yeah, together's the way forward, man.
Right
Always.
on.
Yeah.
Always.
Well,
I should mention too that everyone got a can of Spam.
That's right.
Don't see a lot of spam these days. Yeah.
Yeah, I still have it. I'm waiting for the next lockdown, and I'll eat it.
Oh no! Slice it up, fry it, put a fried egg on top, on some toast.
Not just for breakfast anymore.
well, I don't know who wants to go first, but Chris and Joe, maybe let our audience know how someone could reach you, where you guys are located, and things of that nature.
Chris, go ahead.
Thanks, Joe. Yeah, I live in Vancouver. I work out of Mad Lab School of Fitness. It's on the east side. I do have a thriving fitness business through there, and also I've trying to build out my golf fitness business as well. Unfortunately, there's only 12 work hours in a day, so
Blacker.
we pivoted really well when lockdown happened last March to an online platform, but even since then, since we opened back up, it's just been absolutely crazy busy. So you can find me, and I'll do my best to get you in. And should I give my email, or how does that work?
Yeah.
Do you have Instagram or anything you can plug?
Instagram or a website?
No. No, I don't. I'm behind on this. I know I gotta get I have like my own personal Instagram, but
madlab.ca, is that your website there?
Yeah, Sheppy at madlab.ca is how you could reach me. You can reach me at Chris Sheppy Saini on Instagram.
And, right. And I guess at www.madlab.ca.
Yeah, they could reach out to me through there. Just put the name down. And
anybody can reach out to us here at the show, and we'll connect you with Chris in Vancouver here.
That'd be awesome. Yeah.
Fantastic.
And I'm in Newmarket, so I'm kind of in an interesting stage of all this. When I was young like you guys and beyond, I was running all over doing corporate fitness gigs at places like Weir Aspirin and Kellogg's and all that. And anyways, I've whittled myself down. I was also a F45 head trainer here in Scarborough, one of the locations, up until the COVID hit. So I was still involved with fitness with that, but mainly now I'm just doing the golf lessons at a range called Northern Greens here in Newmarket. Joe at fitforgolf.ca is where people can reach me if they're in town. But I am currently working on an app, and with this app, I'm hoping to transcend just my local area. I think with COVID too, we've all learned to, because we couldn't be so close to people and so forth. I know for me anyways, I've learned to really, talk the trade from a distance. So I think this app, I'm gonna be able to actually really work well with people, even though we're just in this type of situation. And you've got a worldwide market with that. So that's where I'm going with what I'm doing. So I'm just kind of on hiatus through this winter and developing that, but I'll still be out on the range working next spring and stuff. So
fantastic. And I think Mike could help you with that. He's with the ECS agency. He's a digital media company, and they develop websites and apps. So it's a pretty good way we could stay in touch and work about.
Yeah, absolutely, Joe. If you want to chat about that, happy to, and can help give you a second opinion, or we do a lot of creative development here and brand strategy.
I need second and third and fourth opinions because I don't know what the heck I'm doing with it all yet. But,
well,
I'm just getting the information together, but the tech side's like, oh my God, so I'm a little intimidated by that. But
that's the key.
I'd love to chat with you. Yeah.
Absolutely, because you don't want to go down the wrong path and realize after you spent a bunch of money on development that you need to do a different route. So
yes,
so absolutely, if you want to have a chat after this, Raf we'll exchange numbers, and you can pick my brain.
Mike's been
guys,
bugging me for years to do that. You've been bugging me for years to start a podcast, get an Instagram going, no. So he knows what he's talking about.
If you look at, like, I always like to use George Gankus, who you probably know is Matt Wolfe's coach, and he's interesting personality, teaches out at a public golf course in Santa Barbara, and he got himself on Instagram, and he has blown up. He's top 100 teacher of the year. He was just on the cover of Golf Digest with Butch Harmon. So yeah, it's worthwhile, Shep, to get yourself on IG. Sorry, Joe, what did you flash up?
Oh, that was just one of his Gangsta's products there, that box thing.
The box, yes.
Awesome. One of my clients left that behind. He never came back and got it. So it's like,
yes,
it's in my studio.
There you go.
I got a quick question here about technology. Back in the mid-2000s, when I had my studio, I found it a tremendous help to have the Sam Putt lab system to really fit people and help them understand their stroke. And it would be mostly more advanced players, but I would put them on the simulator because I had a full swing golf simulator set up at a tennis and racket club. I had a full studio there as well, and that helped tremendously. Maybe you could tell me a little bit about any types of technology that you're using or thinking of using.
I had the simulator all these years. Mine never broke down, but it's getting pretty old, and everyone's going to the launch monitors now. And this Garmin just came out with this thing, the launch monitor. It's $500 comparatively to what you're paying, $5,000 and up for other launch monitors and stuff. And it's pretty good. It has some shortcomings, especially indoor. It doesn't get the distance quite right, but it gets the shot shape really nice. So that's what I'm using with my clients in here through the winter and stuff, until I decide maybe if I want to upgrade it further than that. But when I take it to the range, it gets the distances right on, and the shot shaping and stuff. So, and it's Doppler. It's not the latest, photo tech type of stuff, but does the job. So that's what I'm using through this winter.
Yeah, a lot of technology is actually very attainable nowadays, because Sky Caddy has a product out now, and there's a few cheapies I've seen on Amazon. A friend of mine bought one that actually gives pretty good numbers for $300-400. So I think we'll see a lot more technology in people's bags as the price points are more attainable.
That's pretty great. How about yourself, Chris? Are you using any types of technology, or are you still working on mostly machine and using your own body weight, calisthenics, and free weights?
Yeah, I don't. It's nothing high tech with me. I've got a swing vest that is totally awesome. Mike spent a bunch of time on that. No, not that fancy. It's just I can't remember the company right now. They're down south, but yeah, it's a swing vest that you could use to practice any kind of swing sport, like baseball or whatnot. And it's just a harness you sit in with a couple high-powered bands and a lot of drills you can do in there. And then I just bought that TRX Rip Trainer, which is just totally out there. They look great. I've used one before, but actually a year ago I did the TPI Power Cert, and they had some. Obviously, they want you to get a pressure board and all this stuff. I'm like, man, I'm a fitness coach. I don't need that, right? So I'm pretty excited to go in and use that today. I just got it on the weekend.
Nice.
But I essentially work on people's core and their stability. That's how I start. You can try a Palov press with them, and they can't even hold the lightest cord. I know, like, well, we got big problems here, right? Or they can't even make themselves. They don't have the proprioception to figure out their knees aren't over their toes, or blah blah blah, right? So you got to peel it back pretty far, and I just don't feel like technology, like any of those toys, are really what people need when they come see me, when they come see you folks, and getting a golf lesson and stuff. For sure you want those specs, right? But for me, man, I just want to turn you into a tractor, a turbocharged tractor, right?
Yeah, I find
wheels,
absolutely,
big engine. You're not going to break down, and you can go do some supersonic speed if you want.
Yeah, I find that the V1 software is pretty amazing. doing the video analysis on that, being able to stay in touch with your clients, send them off their swing either down the line or right on plane, and draw the lines and talk about their swing and have that communication with your client. Because if we look at Foresight Sports Technology, Bryson DeChambeau has that little device he walks around with on the range. That's $20,000, but it gives you like some crazy data, not only club head speed and ball speed, but it gives you like smash factor, spin rates, and it's very precise. So I think that technology is going to come down in price, make it more feasible for all types of trainers to start using the technology, because it is so precise and you get the automatic feedback. And most people don't know their yardages. And this leads me into this question, guys. We've got a live question from Craig in North Bay, and he says that he hits all his irons the same length. What can I do with my fitness to change the length? That's what it is.
So his 9-iron goes as far as his 6-iron?
That's all he wrote. I don't know. I don't have him on here. He just sent us a message. Well, anybody want to tackle that, or I could tackle that?
I'd have to say that's more of a technique issue than a power issue.
I agree.
And you guys see it all the time, and people, if you come in and you're just swinging without any, I don't know, you can talk about taking lessons, but if you really don't have any idea of what the real motion, there's one blueprint for the swing that varies a little bit player to player, but certain things have to happen, and then if things are going right, everything should be 10, 15 yards or so, different type of thing. So that's a technique thing. That's not, he's not using the body properly. He's just probably just swinging with his arms, and it's all over the place. And, and we've all been there at some point, right?
Yeah, I find that with amateurs and beginners, they do tend to hit their irons pretty much the same length, especially women, because they need to generate a certain amount of club head speed to optimize and get the result that you would get between clubs. You're looking at 10, 15 yards difference between all your irons, about 15 yards for men, 10 yards for women, and they need to generate a certain amount of club head speed. So what I would tell you, Craig, is just get your club speed up and then work with your local professional to work on your technique, because it could be something as simple as your ball position, grip, stance, posture, alignment, and then your swing needs to generate a certain amount of speed. I think, do you guys agree with that?
Yeah, I agree with that. And I would throw in, get your clubs checked. Make sure your lofts and lie angles are all dialed in as well. But
that's a good point.
Go check with the CPGA pro and learn the technique, get your clubs checked, and you're all uphill from there. Nice.
Speaking of women in golf, I don't know if you guys caught any of it this weekend, but we had the finale this year with Nelly Korda maintaining her first place position in the world rankings. And Nelly is just an incredible golfer. She's got so much talent. I feel bad for Lexi Thompson, who finished second in the U.S. Open. She kind of fell apart. She was so nervous. It went into that playoff hole. Did any of you guys catch that?
I was really impressed, because Nelly had trouble for a few holes there, and you could just see that's the mark of a great golfer, just coming over that adversity and coming back and just doing it and like a championship player does, right?
Yeah, it's amazing to see that when these pros or even amateurs, or we do it ourselves, and you have some trouble and you find that gear to stabilize yourself and come in and finish it off. And Nella did that fantastically this weekend.
Mm-hmm. Right on. Listen, guys.
And she can beat all of us.
Yes, she can.
We should, why don't we're getting close to time. I think we should exchange some funny or embarrassing stories.
You got it.
Then we can call this a wrap for the day.
Yeah. Who wants
Joe, why don't we start with you? Tell us something that's happened to you, or
I got way too many to list, but one of my favorite stories came when I was working, when I was at this course, the Tam O'Shanter, and I was we were 17, 18 at that time, young to be doing it. But at that time, when you were a CPGA professional, you did everything. You went out and confiscated gears and drove the range and worked the tee and worked the clubhouse and stuff. But I was on the tee, very busy morning or evening, I should say. And this lady walks up and she's got like 7-inch stilettos on. She's going to play golf.
Oh my gosh.
And so I said to the guy she was with, I said, are you actually going out there to golf? She said, oh yeah, I'm going. I said, can't let you out there with those shoes. Like, as nice as they look, you're going to be on greens and those are going to pierce the greens. And anyways, it turned out to be a big to-do and yelling and screaming. And they let me off at the clubhouse. How could you tell me I can't? And long story short, it made the papers. So it was the first time I'd been in the Toronto Star as the other employee who stopped her. And there was this big debate whether I should have let her onto the course or not. It was just that.
If it was the end of the season, she could airate the greens, right?
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Sheppy, you got to have something under there with all the shenanigans you've been up to.
Yeah. Well, I honestly, I do. I like playing golf well. I do feel I treat it as a social outlet. Sometimes more than I should. But golf's been golf trips have been off for a while. Not for everyone. I know some people that were going the whole time, but I had about 3 years in a row of going down south in February or March. Mike was down in Scottsdale with us a few years back. And they're so much fun, right? And anyways, my boss and good friend took us up to Predator Ridge back in September, late September. I'd never been there before. Holy mackerel. How awesome is that resort?
Beautiful facility.
Oh, I loved it. But I hadn't been on a boys trip since right before lockdown in 2020. So I got floor licking drunk on the course the first day we were at Predator.
And you shot your best score, right?
Down, whiffy at the ball. I actually was lined out about a 12-footer lined up, and I missed it further to the right putting than I did get it closer to the hole. I just had my group laughing their head off at me. I think I went home and had a nap, woke up for a good evening session, but
as long as you didn't miss the next day.
Yeah. No, I actually played pretty good that middle day. I to be honest, I don't know if you guys know it there, but I like the Predator more than the Ridge course, to be honest.
I can't remember them that well, but they're both spectacular. And let me just add to his story. When we were in Phoenix a few years back, these boys we went right from the airport to Costco, and they bought 60 pounders of everything, bottles of wine. They drank most of it the first night, and they're still drunk the next day when we went to play Longbow Golf Club. Kept drinking all the way through. I haven't seen people drink like this. It would have killed me if I could have kept up with them. And these guys are unbelievable. It is quite entertaining.
Well, I think I'll go next. So, Mike, you could wrap this up with your story.
I've got a good
one. But I'll tell you first a quick story. I was over at Royal Montreal. It was my first year as assistant professional. I went out with the golf pros. I'm on the first tee, and I don't know if you remember the blue course where they have the Canadian Open and the President's Cup. But there's a balcony out back, and there's a bunch of members around. Most people haven't seen me play. I haven't had a chance to really play with the members yet. And I hooked it underneath the bench, just maybe 40 yards to the left. And that was my intro. And people are looking at me. Anyways, I teed another one up, hit it down the middle. But I was shaking. I couldn't believe it. But my real funny story is with Mike back in 1997 over at Mylora. Do you know what I'm going to say, Mike? We were on the green. I don't remember what hole it is, but he hit a really bad putt, and he looked around and he looked so angry. He took his putter and just whipped it, and it tomahawked into a tree, maybe 40 yards up into the air, and got stuck in the tree. And the following season, I wouldn't suggest this for any of you youngsters out there watching this right now.
I was really young too.
But the good laugh that we had at the time, it wasn't too funny because he was pretty upset. But the following season, the putter was still up in the tree.
It's still there this day.
Might still be there. And it was a Wilson mallet. First time I ever had a mallet putter.
Yeah. I got a good addition to that story. We were playing Northview Ridge probably maybe 3-4 years ago on Canada Day. And they had that course so tricked out. Those greens were rolling 18 or something. I don't know. I was 4-putting from 6 feet. Like it was so hard. The tee boxes, everything. Hey, Mike?
I showed up in white pants and a red shirt, red
Canada
hat.
You looked the part, man.
Total
you looked the part. So Mike pars the first 2 holes, and let me tell you, they're hard. The third hole, I think, is the number 1 hole, and I think you tripled it.
I think so. It was terrible.
Yeah. You got caught in the woods there a bit, and so we're walking off the green, and the carts are over there and whatnot. Takes his putter. Wings it. This is like a Scottie Cameron. Wings it. No. It hits the cart path. Sparks go flying.
Mike.
But you're sponsored by
we didn't. This is another episode altogether where we got to talk to some golf psychologists, right? Where you got to talk to some.
That will be.
So we call this putter Sparky now.
So, since it's about embarrassing me today, and I'll continue the trend. And I'll go back to, I believe it was a Tour Championship tournament for the Vancouver Golf Tour out at Pagoda Ridge. And, a couple holes in and things are going on okay. And I decide it's time to have a little smoke, some cannabis. So I walking up the left side of the fairway and have a quick puff and try to flick the cherry off of this cigarette. And it lands in my golf bag. It goes down into the clubs and into the shafts. And I'm just like looking at it. I can see smoke starting to come out. So my golf bag's catching on fire. And I'm playing with guys I've never played with before. I'm like yanking clubs out of my bag, trying to like douse this thing, and like took the bag off the push cart. And like everyone's looking at me like, what the fuck are you doing over there? And it was just priceless. And so, yeah, that was probably
Mike.
One of them. But
Did you lose a grip or anything, or?
No, I got all the clubs out and I was able to put out the blaze.
Yeah, it was not the joint though; it was gone.
Yeah, exactly.
Listen,
yeah,
guys.
that's one of them.
We're gonna wrap this up. Thanks so much, you guys. I love the stories. I like the knowledge. I'm hoping our listeners and our viewers are going to be able to take in some stuff outside of the funny jokes and pick up some golf knowledge and enjoy the show. We're soon going to be on Apple, and we're going to be streaming us some other audio streams as well. So please stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe, hit the bell. I don't know where it is. And for Joe Ross, for Chris Saini, and Michael Bleackley, I'm Rafael Kalamat, and you've been listening to Podcast Live. Thanks for coming on, guys.
Thanks for having us, Ralph.
Let me just jump in and give a shout out to the Drinkwell company. They make great juices, wonderful vodka spritzers, and they're our first sponsor of the show.
This isn't a golf show anymore.
Yeah,
it's all downhill from here.
All right, guys, take care.
Nice to meet you.